Members of the Canadian Society are trying to cope with the COVID-19 pandemic. As Eagle News correspondent Thomas I. Likeness tells us, people from all walks of life are beginning to adjust to the new realities. Thomas?
The parking lot outside this restaurant would normally be full this time of day, but with social distancing, more people are choosing to eat at home. The restaurant and food sector aren't the only ones feeling the economic pinch of the pandemic. I took a look at some other sectors of Canadian society to see how they are faring. Parth Shukla manages an IHOP in Edmonton. He says his business has dropped right off.
We have had 90% reduction in the business that we had.
Shukla says there's been an increase in takeout orders, but not enough to keep everyone busy.
Before all this began, we used to have about 40 employees, and right now we are down to 7. So we have had to lay off about 33 employees.
Commission salespeople like car dealers are the hardest hit. Floor traffic is almost non-existent, and sales are rare. In the real estate industry, agents not only have a slowdown to contend with, they've also lost a valuable sales tool, open houses. Sellers are reluctant to have people touring their homes, and social distancing is also a problem when several prospective buyers arrive at the same address. The Real Estate Council of Alberta advises agents to assess their own risk when dealing with clients, and many are working remotely, not even coming into the office. You'd think people working in the healthcare center would be immune to the economic effects of the pandemic. But doctors in Edmonton say telemedicine could put them out of business. Telehealth has become commonplace as in-person visits to clinics are being discouraged to maintain social distancing. Doctors in Edmonton say they may face bankruptcy, claiming the provincial government just doesn't pay them enough for those virtual visits. In a news release, the Edmonton Zone Medical Staff Association says the government is paying physicians less than half of what they would get for an office visit. The fee for a virtual visit is $20, the lowest in Canada, according to an association survey. The association says this is a time to focus on providing patients with virtual care, not a time to add to the stress of a pandemic by forcing practices to close. Funeral directors fear their workers may be at risk because of a lack of safety equipment. The Alberta Funeral Service Association says it's struggling to get items such as masks and gloves. It also wants the government to recognize funeral service providers as frontline workers in the fight against COVID-19. At least one large supermarket chain in Canada is adding protective measures for its employees and customers. Galen Weston is the chairman of Loblaw Companies. He says his stores are putting in protective plexiglass shields at the checkout counter. Through all of this, people are being encouraged to maintain their hope. Alberta's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Dina Hinshaw, offers these encouraging words.
We will get through this, but to do that, we need everyone's help. Take this seriously. Stay home unless it is essential for you to go out. If you are struggling with today's news, reach out to friends and loved ones and talk. Tell them how you're feeling.
In the end, people will probably emerge stronger. And because they've had to set aside for a while what on a world scale is a prosperous lifestyle here in Canada, maybe they will have a better understanding of what their life is all about. In Edmonton, Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.